Hello, dear world, and welcome to another update about the Russian Ukrainian war. Fires continue to occur in Russia and the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine. The Ilmash electronical plant was on fire in Voronezh. The reasons of the fire are not yet specified. The company produced electronic motors, transformers, hydraulic and pneumatic power equipment. A fire was also observed in the city of Mariupol. Mayor of the Mariupol states that there was a possible attack on the barracks with the occupiers. Meanwhile, the occupying governor announced as usual that the wreaths were burning outside the city. From bad news, unfortunately, the occupiers attacked a television facility in the city of Kharkiv. There are interruptions in the digital television signal, stated by regional military administration. And now, guys, I want to touch on the situation on the battlefield. Up to 25,000 Russian soldiers are trying to storm Chasiv Yar and the settlements in the city's outskirts. The Hortitsa group of forces spokesperson said, "The situation around the city is difficult, but the city is under full control of our defense forces. There is no Russian army in the city," he said. Earlier, President Zelensky said that Russia wants to capture Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region by the so-called Victory Day on May 9th. If Ukrainian troops hold out, Russia's plans to launch a new offensive in June will be dashed, he said. Unfortunately, the enemy advanced in the village of Ocheretina in the Avdiivka direction. According to some information, one of the newly arrived brigades left its position without permission, which led to a breakthrough by the Russians. Due to the incompetence of the brigade command, the soldiers of the 47th Mechanized Brigade had to urgently engage in combat with the superior enemy forces. Here you can see the video from the Russian side from the village of Ocheretina.
Сзади этой группы висит флаг Российской Федерации.
Russian troops also reached the western edge of Novomikhailivka and fully occupied the city. The battle that lasted more than a year is now over. The occupiers are now rotating their defeated units, preparing to send fresh troops to Paraskovivka. According to the deep state map, the enemy also advanced south of Peromaiske and south of Paraskovivka. Ukraine continues to successfully use ground drones. On this video you can see the successful use of a Ukrainian ground drone of the 63rd Brigade against enemy trenches. The Ukrainians also managed to destroy enemy ground drones. On this video you can see a successful case of destruction of enemy ground drone by a Ukrainian FPV. The Russians seem to think that he was in the Harry Potter universe and found the invisibility cloak, but something went wrong, guys. Take a look. And now some crazy news from Russia. The Russians have created a computer game about the war in Ukraine, a first person shooter named Best in Hell. The creators called it a patriotic game project based on historical events of modern Russia. They offered to play as a mercenary of the Wagner PMC, which storms the city of Popasna in the spring of 2022. The tasks in the game are given by Prigozhin. The game was already advertised in Solovyov's propaganda show. The United States is preparing a larger than normal package of military aid for Ukraine that will include Bradleys, Humvees, M113s, as well as urgently needed artillery and air defenses, Politico reports. Also, guys, finally, it seems like the United States will provide Ukraine with ATACAMS missiles. It was stated by President Zelensky during his yesterday's evening speech. There was a conversation with Joe Biden. All the dots are set in the agreements on ATACMS for Ukraine. Thank you, Mr. President, thank you, Congress, thank you, America, he said. A little bit earlier, Mark Warner, chairman of the US Senate Intelligence Committee, said that military aid, including long range missiles, could be sent to Ukraine by the end of this week. According to him, over the past 2 years, with less than 3% of the US defense budget, the Ukrainians have destroyed 87% of Russia's existing ground forces, 63% of their tanks, and 32% of their APCs. The Ukrainians achieved this thanks to their courage, our supplies, and the supplies they received from our European allies, he said. Okay, guys, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you like it, you can subscribe on the channel or give a video a big thumbs up. It will help me a lot. Thank you, guys, and see you soon. Bye bye.